Hey guys, it's John here again from Silent Sky Studios, and what I want to talk about this time around is how to choose a recording studio for your next recording project. Choosing a studio is a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly. If you're going to invest the time and the money into recording in a pro studio, then it's obviously important enough that you want to ensure that your project's going to be a success. And obviously, if you make the wrong choice or you don't make the best choice that you could, then your project is not going to turn out as well as it could, or in some drastic cases it may not turn out at all. So I want to talk about some of the considerations in choosing a studio for your recording project. First off would be the availability. If a studio keeps banker's hours and 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and you're like most independent musicians and you have to work a full-time job in addition to pursuing your music career, then that studio may not be a good fit for you. If the only time that you're available to work is on weekends or in the evenings during the week, and that studio keeps those kind of hours, then that's probably not going to be a good match for you. Also, something to consider is not only the availability of the facility, but the availability of any equipment that's going to be needed. Some studios will charge extra for using certain pieces of gear. So you'd want to find out if that's the case, and if it is, if the gear that you need is going to be available. Also, for that matter, is the availability of an engineer, of a person. Are they going to provide someone who's going to be there to work the equipment, to actually handle the technical details of the recording? Or, are you expected to find your own freelance engineer, or to do it yourself, or, whatever the case may be? So you want to find out about the availability of an engineer as well. The next consideration is the location of the studio. How far is that studio from your home? Is it within a comfortable driving distance? If you're going to have to go to the studio in the evenings after work, you want to ensure that it's within a reasonable driving distance, so that you can get there, get some work done for a few hours, and then get home in a reasonable amount of time. You have to ask yourself, if I get there and I realize I've forgotten something, you've left something at the house, whether it be lyric sheets or a capo, or whatever it is, are you going to be able to go back and retrieve those items that you've forgotten and get back to the studio within a reasonable amount of time? And of course, if the studio is not within a short distance of your home, if you're going to have to stay overnight somewhere, if you're going to be working there at the studio for a number of days or even weeks, then you need to think about what kind of accommodations are within, what kind of a proximity is the studio from a hotel or restaurant or whatever. For that matter, are there any restaurants nearby so that you can go grab a bite to eat, during breaks or whatever the case may be. So location is important. The next consideration is the working environment. Does the studio that you're considering, does it seem like it would be somewhere that'll be comfortable to work? Is it clean and smoke free, or is it dirty and smoky? I guess depending upon upon your preference and what you're looking for. The next question to ask is, the reputation. What kind of a reputation does the studio have? You know, how did you hear about this studio? You know, did someone recommend it? And that person that recommended it is someone that you know and trust, or you know, did you just happen upon you know, a Facebook page or a MySpace page or something like that for that studio? You know, just about anyone these days, anyone with a computer can set up a page on a social networking site, and it can make it look really impressive, you know, but sometimes looks can be deceiving. So, you know, for that matter, you know, speaking of websites, does that studio have their own professional-looking website? You know, do they have their own domain name, like silentsky.net? Just go ahead and plug my website while I'm at it. You know, because, you know, there are a lot of fly-by-night operations out there. You know, there are a lot of folks that say that they have a quote-unquote recording studio or home studio, and you get there and it's basically they've got a spare bedroom with a couple of blankets thrown up on the wall, and you know, it may not be the type of environment that you want to be in, and it may not be able to deliver the kind of pro quality sound that you're after. So, you know, I've heard a lot of horror stories from folks who have been burned by, you know, people who had home studios, and basically they weren't able to deliver the quality of material that they were hoping for, or for that matter, they took their money and didn't deliver anything at all. So you want to be sure that that you consider the reputation of the studio. The next consideration is, you know, personalities. You know, have you met the people that you're going to be working with? Have you met the engineer? Have you met, you know, if you're going to be working with a producer, have you met the producer? And, you know, do those people seem like they would be easy to get along with and easy to work with? Are they going to provide the kind of creative input that you're looking for? For that matter, if you don't want creative input, are they just going to keep their mouth shut and you know, do what they're told? So, you know, do these people that you're going to be working with, do they seem like you know, someone who's easy to get along with, who's going to be who it's going to be a positive experience working with them, or, you know, do they come across like a jerk or someone who, you know, could care less about your project, and basically all they're interested in is taking your money? You know, first impressions are important, you know, when it comes to dealing with people in general, and they're definitely important, you know, when you're considering someone to work with in the studio. The next question is the rates. You know, what are the rates for the studio? You know, are you going to have to pay by the hour, or can you pay by the song? You know, and if you are paying by the song, you know, does that include, you know, recording and mixing and mastering, or is that strictly for the tracking phase of the project, and then the mixing and the mastering are going to be done at an additional cost? You know, that's important that, you know, that you find out how much it's going to cost you to do what you need to do. And of course, you know, a lot of studios, myself included, will offer like a package deal, you know, some kind of a package recording deal, but you want to be sure that you know exactly what all that package includes or does not include, because you could get burned, you know, if you get halfway through the project and you find out that, you know, the price that they quoted you doesn't include, you know, the mixing and the mastering or whatever, then that's going to obviously be a major setback for your project. And of course, it's also always a good idea. I would encourage this regardless of the studio that you decide to work with, but get it in writing. You know, get some kind of a formal written proposal from the studio where they list out, line by line, they list out what all services are going to be included in the recording package, so that you're certain that they're going to give you, everything that you expect them to. So, in conclusion, I hope that some of these things that we've talked about, availability, location, working environment, reputation, personalities, and rates. These are all important things to consider whenever you're going to be choosing a studio for your next recording project. And of course, as always, I want to plug my studio, Silent Sky Studios. We're located here in Northeast Arkansas, just about 15 miles east of Jonesboro. So if you're in the area and you're looking for a local studio, then I would encourage you to check out the website. You can contact me through the website if you want to discuss your recording project. There on the website, I've got samples of some of my work so that you can check that out. And of course, we've got tons of other information about the studio, and it's all there at silentsky.net. So be sure and check that out. And thanks for watching.